2024 Toronto condo market outlook. Let's talk about it. The Toronto condo market really does fascinate me, and I've been very involved in it for the last decade. And there's a few reasons why. It represents more than 60% of the transactions that took place all of last year in 2023 in the city of Toronto. There's four types of people who typically buy condos, and you can't say that for houses. For condos, you have first-time home buyers, you have investors, you have downsizers, and then you have luxury condo buyers. And at least for the last 15 years, Toronto condos have provided most of the rental inventory in the city of Toronto. My name's Tom Storey. I appreciate you being back here on this channel. In today's video, we're going to break down what I think the 2024 condo market is going to look like. If you learn anything new in this video, or you like the style of these videos, make sure to get subscribed and like this video. Our team is also very, very involved in the Toronto condo market. If you want to book a call with an expert about what you're trying to do on the buying or selling side, you can go into the first link in the description. I thought it would be fun to break this video down into four different categories. First, we're going to go over some charts together. Then we're going to talk about the factors that you're going to want to watch if you're a buyer or seller of a condo in 2024. And then finally, I'm going to go over advice for buyers and for sellers. So let's get started with the charts. All right. So what we're looking at here is basically what the Toronto condo market has done in the 416 area code back to January 2021. So it was very low after 2020, obviously, with everything that happened. Everything else went up in price, but condos went down significantly during the beginning of the pandemic. Then we started 2021 and they really started jumping up and then leveled off a little bit. Now you can see, like pretty much every other asset, they peaked out at over $800,000 in about February 2022. And the condo market's been kind of all over the place because then it dipped down, then it jumped up again, then it dipped down, then it jumped up again. Then it dipped down, and then it dipped down even more. And in 2023, we actually saw condo prices go up for the first 6 months of the year before they went down for the last 6 months of the year. So let's kind of zoom in on this a little bit, and let's just look at last year of 2023 for what happened with Toronto condos. So we started the year with almost 5 months in a row of upticks in price. Now, we all know that June and July had the rate hikes, and that brought down every type of market. But then condo inventory started to build, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I was very surprised that condo prices didn't drop more based on just how much inventory was out there. So if we really break down last year and we look, we kind of ended where we started. So did condo prices go up or down last year? Well, it kind of depends on when you bought or sold. So we started the year at about $711,000 for average sale price. We peaked out in May at $784,000. And then in December, we were back to $709,000. So did condo prices go up? Well, if you sold in May, they went up for you. But if you bought in May, then they've gone down significantly since then. Now, we should never be looking at an investment on a 6 month time horizon. But basically, condo prices did nothing last year. They went up and then they went down, but they got back exactly where they started. I've had a lot of discussions with potential buyers of condos and sellers of condos into 2024 now. And I don't anticipate that you're going to see a massive decrease or a massive increase in price this year. I don't know if it's going to behave like last year where we go up or down, or maybe we go down first and then we go up and end in the same spot. But I think condo growth or decline is going to be 2% either direction. I don't really think it's going to be a year where much is going to change. But sale price is one thing. Then we have to look at sales volume. So same thing as last year. We started slow and built up for the first 5 months of the year. And then we kind of dipped off for the rest of the year. So not only, if we go back to the last slide, did the prices drop off in the last 6 months, but so did the overall sales. So in May, not only did we have the most amount of sales, but also if you look back in May, well, we had the highest price. And then if you look at January and December, we had the 2 lowest months of sales. We go back and those are the 2 lowest price points. If you look at the entire city for the back half of 2023, Toronto condos were in balanced market territory, but just on the cusp of going into a buyer's market. But if you look at specifically the downtown core of the city, we were in a buyer's market for the last 4 months of the year. And we had anticipated that listings were going to come off the market at the end of 2023 that weren't selling, that were sitting there, that were stale, that sellers weren't realistic with new pricing expectations. And that takes us to the factors that we have to watch for in 2024. And it's really just 3 things. How many listings are on the market at once? Active inventory. Obviously, More supply means that prices will not go up as fast. Then we have to look at months of inventory, which is taking the active listings divided by the sales every single month. At the back half of last year, we had 7 months of inventory for downtown condos, meaning less than 15% of properties were actually finding a buyer every single month. So in that type of market, you would expect sale prices to go down. And that's exactly what happened. Now, this isn't always perfect science, but if there's under 2 months of inventory and you're in a pretty good seller's market, you're going to see an increase in price. We saw that in the first half of 2023, even with fairly high interest rates. In that balanced market territory, in that middle from 3 to let's call it 6 months of inventory, you're not going to see prices move. It's just going to be that standoff between buyers and sellers, and eventually deals will get done. But if we get to a point where we have sustained inventory in buyer's market category for 4, 5, 6 months in a row, that's when you're going to see significant pressure on prices. And the third key factor is, who are the sellers? Are people selling condos that are in a tough financial position that absolutely have to sell? Is it just people that have a ton of equity in their condo and they want to upsize? Is it investors that have to renew their mortgage in the next 6 months? And they're like, I don't want to deal with losing $1,000 a month. Let's just sell this thing, but they have equity in it. So they're not, as pressured to make a decision as fast. Who knows? We're about to find out. Something I talked about in the last kind of condo deep dive video that I did on this channel was that it was surprising to me because in downtown Toronto, almost 75% of the active listings were tenanted or vacant. And that to me would say like investors are trying to get out. I think it's too early in the year for me to do that search again to have any real outcome on how the market reacts. I want to see what happens as we get into February before I look at those numbers again. But I will tell you that 35% of active listings came off the market in December. So if nothing changes as of right now, we're in balanced market territory for most of condos. Now I get asked a lot by potential condo buyers and potential condo sellers, well, should I wait? Are prices going to go down on the buying side? Or, well, hey, I'd like to sell, but I don't like today's price. How long do I have to wait for prices to go up? And I don't know the answer, but what I do know is that there's a few things that we can track, which will probably show us potentially what the answer is going to be if these things stay in place for a few months. So these key data points that we want to watch is what percentage of listings are actually selling, the absorption rate every single month, because there's been times where there's lots of inventory, but it's all selling. So it doesn't just mean more inventory means prices goes down. If the buyers are there and they're absorbing that inventory, then prices could still go up. So that's something that I'm going to watch, and I'll report on that in this channel. Then we're going to have to watch it average days on market. Average days on market went up last year. It started the beginning of the year at like 15, ended the year at 27. But we all have to remember about average days on market, it only tracks the properties that sold. So what it's really telling a buyer is that, hey, if the condo you're trying to buy in this specific area hasn't sold by 27 days on market, it's not going to be in the 15 to 20% of condos they're going to find a buyer this month. And to me, that means it's just not priced correctly. Not my opinion. It's literally the market talking to the seller of that property. And if you're a seller, it's the same thing on the other side. If you get to your average days on market and don't get serious interest or an offer on your property, it's likely because you're priced too high. And the third key data point is list to sale price ratio. So at the back half of last year, we saw anywhere from 98 to 99% people were getting their asking price. But keep in mind, only 15% of properties were actually selling every single month. And earlier on in the year, that number was over 100 because it was manufactured. Because when there was no inventory, you could list a property low, get 10 offers on it, and it would sell way higher than the asking price, but the asking price was just a marketing price. So if you're a buyer and you want to deal on a condo, here's what I would be telling you right now. There's 3 things that you should do. 1, you should get your real estate agent, or if you want it from us, you can just let us know. You can email us. We can send you a list of condos that literally say motivated seller in the broker remarks. These are people that have to sell. If you're bargain hunting, we can find you those properties. I can't guarantee they're the best properties, but they're the ones that you can probably get for the best price. Number 2, if you are on an automatic search receiving properties, that is great, but that's what every other buyer does. You should also get a search that's sent to you at the end of every week from your real estate agent, or again, we can do that for you. That's giving you properties that have been on the market over 30 days. Because mathematically, there's a better chance that you can get that property under the asking price if it's been sitting over 30 days. And finally, and let's just say there's an asterisk to this one because there's risk involved with tenanted properties, but tenanted properties sell for less. Tenanted properties and vacant properties typically will sell for a little bit less than owner-occupied properties. Not always, but typically they will, like 3 to 5% less across the board. But you have to move into a tenanted property if you're buying it. Otherwise, you have to assume the tenant. So there's things to think about there as well. And let's wrap this video up with advice for condo sellers, because I'm talking with a lot of you right now. And here's what I think you need to hear. You have to be realistic. You have to look at how many options are on the market. What other properties would the buyers look for? And if there's 2 or 3 that are very similar to yours, you want those to be the decoy listings. And what I mean by that is that any buyer that's going to see your property is going to see these 2 other properties as well. And if they see all 3 of them and yours looks like the best option and it's priced the best for them, because if you're in a race here, you're going to be in the leading 3 racehorses. If you're in spot 10, the chances of you selling every single month, if nothing changes as of today, and the market will change, and I'll film more videos while things change, you have to be the best option on the market to make sure you find a buyer. Number 2 is that presentation matters. Do not cheap out. Stage your property. Make it look amazing. People don't want to do a ton of work right now. They want a turnkey operation. They want to buy it. They want to move in, and they want to live their life. They don't want to deal with financing, all these other things where the interest rates are also more expensive. If you're going to hire a real estate agent, staging is an absolute must. We include staging as part of our selling package. We don't charge the seller directly for it. It makes a big, big difference. Properties sell for more when they are marketed correctly. And finally, if you're selling a property that has a tenant in it, that's fine, but it will take longer and it's going to sell for less than an owner-occupied property with all the exact same criteria. So if you can do it the right way and you can talk to your tenant and they're willing to sign an N11, and typically this is a cash for keys conversation, talk to the landlord tenant board, find out exactly what you can do on this, right? I can give you advice offline if you'd like. It's easier to sell a property when it's vacant with staging furniture than when a tenant is in there. That's just the reality of the situation. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it valuable. As I mentioned before, we are the #1 team in downtown Toronto for selling condos in 2023. Nobody sold more than us. If you want to talk to a pro, you can book an appointment with us below. Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.